Meeting to order. Ask for roll call, please.
Here.
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 Here. Here. Here.
Here.
Here.
Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the All right, we have minutes from a regular meeting on February 12th and a special meeting on February 22nd.
I move for approval of the regular meeting minutes of February 12th and the special meeting minutes of February 22nd as written.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second then to approve the regular minutes meeting of February 12 and special meeting of February 22. And all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those not, same sign. All right, thank you for all that are in attendance. We got a nice group. It's even a nice day out, and you still chose to come and join us, so that's awesome. Thank you very much, and all those that are watching or listening at home as well. We do not have anybody signed up for public comments, so we will go ahead and I'll ask for motion to adopt the agenda.
Also move.
Second.
Motion and a second to adopt the agenda is written. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those not, same sign. All right, we have an agenda, and we can move forward with 8.1, middle school. Welcome.
Good evening. How are we doing tonight?
Excellent.
Good. I want to thank you for the opportunity for us to be able to present to you our School of the Month presentation and give you some updates with regards to our school success plan. We have several individuals that will be partaking in this presentation this evening, but I'm going to kick it off and and we're going to jump right into our math goal. So by the end of the 23-24 school year, 100% of all students who score at or above grade level will meet their typical growth goal, while 50% of all students who score 1 year below will meet their stretch goal, and 30% of all students who score 2 or more years below grade level will meet their stretch goal as identified by the iReady diagnostic in the spring of 2024. Pleased to share with you our progress based upon the winter diagnostic, and you'll notice that our students who are at mid or above or early on grade level, we're right around 50% of those students who have already met their typical growth goal, so we feel like the goal of 100% is very attainable. You also will notice that students who scored 2 or more grade levels below are on track with 17 and 19% respectively having hit their stretch goal. So we feel really good about that. Obviously, our students who are 1 grade level below, we are not making adequate progress at this point in time to hit that goal, but we have some really good ideas as to why. We have spent a considerable amount of time focusing on our students who need additional help and support, those students who are identified as 2 or more grade levels below, and that has had the desired effect. But our next go at it here over the course of the next several months is going to be to spend more time in our WIN time, in our Tier 2 intervention time, focusing on our students who are in the yellow band currently. So we're optimistic that we'll be able to hit that goal with that additional time and effort. Our math team has worked very diligently over the course of this year with our CESA 6 consultant, has gone through, and I'm not going to read all of these action steps that have taken place, just highlight a couple, but they've worked very closely with our CESA 6 consultant and have done a book study that has been ongoing over the course of the last couple of years on building thinking classrooms. Some of you had the opportunity to visit the middle school last Thursday as part of our School of the Month visit. You noticed the vertical spaces taking place in one of the math classrooms that we visited. That's just an example of some of the strategies that are reinforced in that building thinking classrooms. And then the other thing I would point out is we continue to utilize time that's available to us in our WIN period, which is offered opposite days of FIED on an alternating day basis, where we bring kids in based upon student assessment data that our teachers share when they get together as part of their content area teams, i.e. 7th grade math team, for example, to discuss data, discuss students who are in need of additional support, and provide them with that opportunity during that WIN time. So those are just a couple of the things that our math team has been working really hard at, and we feel like we have seen some benefits to that. Here's some examples of some of our students who are involved and engaged in those vertical spaces that we referenced earlier, as well as you'll notice Ms. Olson there in the bottom left-hand photo, who was identified as Dodge County Teacher of the Month this past fall, and so one of her classes who wanted to help support that with her. So with that in mind, I'm going to pass things on now to Heather Anderson, who's going to talk about ELA.
Thank you, Bill. So my name is Heather Anderson. I'm the instructional coach for the middle school, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about how we're doing in ELA. So we have a goal of 80% of all students will demonstrate reading proficiency using grade level text to address key ideas and details and craft in structure through the use of close reading strategies. And then students will demonstrate proficiency using study sync, first reading scale checks, which our teachers give every month, month and a half. And so in quarter one, we had an overall proficiency of 35.6%, and you'll see that that is steadily increased into quarter three, with approximately 65% of our students achieving overall proficiency using those assessments in ELA. So we have to continue to push the needle as we move forward for the rest of the school year. And then our action steps for this year, we had a year-long focus. So nothing's done in isolation. It's woven through the entire year, with our professional development being focused on main idea, key ideas and details, craft and structure. And we are using components and implementation of close reading, and that's taking place also in our science and social studies classes. So we're looking at disciplinary literacy across the board, not just in our English classes, and I think that's also showing results in our data. Our teachers are using common formative and summative assessments to determine student mastery, and then they meet in teams weekly, and they use a tool called the Teaching and Assessing Cycle. We refer to it as the TAC form, so you'll see that acronym. And that's where teachers are assessing whether or not students have demonstrated mastery around our essential standards. And then we can identify who needs tier 2 intervention and also who needs extension. And as I said before, we're utilizing study sync assessments to track our progress around our year-long focus. So here are some of our kiddos in action. So our students are involved in book clubs twice a year where they do novel studies. There's a whole class text, and then they do choice text to support the essential standards and skill work. And then you'll also see students engaged in discourse strategies and some literacy and close reading across the content areas here. So our kids are working hard, and we are showing slow and steady progress. Without further ado, I would like to pass it off to Jamie Dugan, our Dean of Students.
So the next thing we're going to look at is our school success plan for staff effectiveness and development. By the end of 23-24 school year, 80% of staff will rate their collaborative team a 4 or 5 in answering, how will we respond when some students do not learn it, as measured by the PLC Continuum Survey. As you can see, in September, we started at 42.5%. And as the months have progressed, we, our last month that we looked at the PLC Continuum Survey, we're at 73.1. So we're super proud of that growth. Okay. The next slide is staff effectiveness and development completed action steps. Each common course administers common end of unit summative assessments that are designed to determine proficiency by learning target or standard. Assessment data is shared by each teacher so that each team can review and analyze. In analyzing assessments, the team identifies which students need additional support for each standard and learning target. Additional support is scheduled and carried out during advisory and or win time, so what I need now time. And now I will turn it over to Mr. Wally, who is our associate principal.
Thank you, Jamie. I get the pleasure of sharing one of our ways we celebrate students each month, which is a really fun, exciting thing we look forward to. Each of our houses nominate 3 students, and then each of our elective courses also nominate a student, and we honor them at a Student of the Month celebration. So in that celebration, we recognize students not just for academic achievement, but maybe growth in a certain area, outstanding citizenship, meeting their individual goals, and sometimes just kids will do really cool things that we think they need to shout out. So parents, community members are invited in to celebrate with us. Each teacher that nominates the students will read a small paragraph on why they nominated them, and then they can kind of pick out a prize and get their picture taken. And it's really cool, just a really cool thing that we're proud of, and I think the kids value it as well too. So, and with that, I'm going to pass it over to Ms. Lindert to talk about social emotional learning.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mallory Lindert, and my role at the middle school is I am a PE teacher, and then I'm also in charge of our social emotional learning planning, and then also the delivery of lessons and running of groups. So you'll see here we have Tier 1. At the Tier 1 level, all of our students participate in school-wide advisory. So we have advisory 5 days a week, and then second step curriculum is used for planning lessons every Tuesday and Thursday. So all of our students are receiving the same Tier 1 instruction. Some of the things that are in the Tier 1 instruction from second step might be goals, future planning, mindsets, career, bullying, mistreatment, and how to handle social relationships. At the Tier 2 level, we have targeted interventions. So one of those interventions would be the SEL groups that we are running. Right now, we have 5, and then I just started an additional 3 groups in between the transition of last week and today. So it's kind of a revolving door. Once students are finished with the curriculum and they've shown that they have successfully completed the group, or they've shown that they maybe need additional support, that group ends and then another group starts so that we can help a lot of students. Right now, we also have 10 lunch groups running, and some of the topics that we are seeing in the SEL groups are from Dr. Hannigan's work. We use a lot of role-playing and situational things that the students are seeing right in school that they might be struggling with. We do a lot of discussion, goal setting, and problem solving. Some of the topics include anger management, hands-off academy, which is keeping our hands to ourselves, civility academy, how to be a good student and a good person, and then working on organizational skills. And then we also have students who struggle with anxiety and some mental health, and so we have topics for that as well. And then an additional Tier 2 intervention that we have is check-in, check-out, and that's where students set personal goals with their mentor, and it's monitored either digitally or on paper, and they're checking in throughout the day with that mentor and throughout their classes, working towards specific goals or skills that need to be addressed for them to have greater success in school. And with that, I would like to introduce Jen Bowser and Jen Binns.
Hi, I'm Jen Bowser. I'm a teacher at the Beaver Dam Middle School.
Hi, I'm Jen Vince. I'm the District Library Media Specialist.
So we're going to talk about a new educational experience we have for our students, the virtual reality goggles. So we have a class set of 30 goggles, some 3D cubes and joysticks, which you will get to try out later when we have a different presentation. Our staff were trained on how to use this program, and they have playlists available through all different topics and subjects. And then the students will get to experience these immersive situations and interact with different scenes based on the topics that the teacher creates.
So some of the lessons that we've done already is we took a little exploration around Mexico. Ms. Bowser had her students look at ancient Greece recently. We looked a little bit at rockets and Mars exploration with our flight and space class. We've also done some fun things like swimming with sharks, and we took a look at the civil rights movement and what it looked like during some of the protests in Washington, D.C., and then also seeing Rosa Parks. So we also did some social emotional lessons, so you can look at different strategies. They had some calming activities for students and how students can de-stress. So the virtual reality goggles were brought to us from the Beaver Dam Community Foundation, the Heffron Family Fund, and then also we used our Library Common School funds to purchase the class set of 30.
So there's just a couple of scenes of the kids. They have had 6th, 7th, and 8th graders have been able to experience it, as well as some of our teachers and staff.
If you look carefully, I think that's Mr. Myers.
I think that's Mr. Meyer, our curriculum director over there in the corner. But the kids love it. They always ask, when's their next time to go on the virtual reality tour? Like, when do we get to go back? So hold on tight, because in a little bit, we'll get to try them out.
And we're gonna go back to math.
Matt?
All right, Community Service Day. We are proud to be celebrating our third annual Community Service Day this upcoming May 10th. We have over 30 areas of service for our students that they'll be signing up for in April. And in December, we did a mini Community Service Day through the advisory lessons so that students could kind of have a preview of our expectations and our why behind community service. And then I've been working with Tracy in the Chamber of Commerce. She's been great to get area businesses involved. And so I just want to give a really quick shout out to the Nancy Zeman Sewing Group, Rechecks, Art on the Town, Dodge County Historical Society, Dodge County Center for the Arts, Trinity Church, Beaver Dam Police Department, Beaver Dam Fire Department, the Historical Society via the Chamber, Beaver Dam Goodnight Appliance, and Beaver Dam Public Library. So they are all partners with us so far in our trek here to May 10th. Some of our service projects will also be going overseas to our troops. And then we also will be collecting hygiene items, shoes through our student council. So we're pairing up with them. And we will be also making some things for our local shelters and putting supplies in their hands for the people in our community that are in need. And then also, we are looking for additional volunteers and ideas. So if you have anything that you have in mind, please come and speak with me. Also, Mrs. Holland, who's our building sub at the middle school, has started a sewing club, and her kiddos are making pillowcases that are going to be donated to PAVE right here in town. And then also, shout out to the police charity. We just received an $800 donation from them towards our service day again, which is so helpful when I have to purchase supplies for all of our different selections for our students. And then also I'm working with Dawn Lions Wood this year and the local Lions Club. We have some members joining us as well. And Trinity Church has been an amazing partner as well for making tie blankets for the community.
Any questions?
I have a couple questions. When you talked about the math and the completed action steps, you mentioned building thinking classrooms by the author Peter Lajadel. Okay. Could you just give an example of what's a strategy that he has in his thinking book?
Yeah, one of the ones that is most prominently used currently by our staff is the use of what they call vertical spaces. And so really what it amounts to is a number of whiteboards that are posted around the room where students have the chance to go up to those boards and work on problems in small groups simultaneously. So you might have anywhere between 6 and 8 groups of students at a different board solving the same problem or problems, and then having conversation and discussion about that. And what that does is it provides an opportunity for students to interact with each other, to share what they know about the problem-solving strategies regarding a specific math skill. And it also affords teachers the opportunities to encourage kids to rotate amongst those whiteboards or those vertical spaces, to analyze other students' work, other groups' work, to determine whether or not the answers that other groups got that may have been different from their own were either correct or incorrect, and perhaps why. Okay. So it really kind of gets kids to dig more deeply into the content and to better demonstrate their competency with it.
Okay.
And we saw a really good example of that in 8th grade math.
Sixth grade.
6th grade,
Yep.
sorry. Opposite end.
Okay, and then I have a question on ELA. Just, could you give me an example of what close reading actually is?
Yes, I can, because I wrote a book on it. So, close reading is when you take a grade level complex text. Usually, you're not looking at longer than a spread in a book,
Right.
or 1 page front and back. We have rule of thumb, if it's stapled, it's too long. And it's where you require kids to go in and reread text for a purpose. So every time they dive into this text, so it's repeated reading of a complex text, and they're given a purpose every single time they go in. So I just did a bunch of groups today, and students were doing close reading. First time they were in the text, they were looking for evidence of why Abraham Lincoln was nicknamed Honest Abe, right? So they're looking for evidence of that the first time they read. Then the next time they go in and they read those same 3 paragraphs, it's a 7-paragraph text. First 3 paragraphs is finding evidence, right? Then they go back in and they reread it again, and then it's what are we really learning about his life, his early life. So every time they go back in, there's another layer and another layer and another layer. And it forces kids to engage in discourse where they're making meaning with one another. As a teacher, I get to step back and let the kids be the teachers if we ask the right questions. So close reading is grade level text, complex text, short with multiple rereads in order to make deep meaning.
Good idea. Thank you.
Yeah.
Other questions?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just want to tell you guys thank you for having us the other day. It was great to walk through the building. Lots of good stuff going on. Very positive environments. A lot of excited students in all the classrooms that we went into. You know, we saw like the VR goggles. I mean, the kids were really, really excited to be immersed in that. We saw the what were they? Sheep brains. Yeah, we were dissecting sheep brains, so that was, I mean, you could tell that some kids were a little like, not so
Less
sure.
excited?
But they were definitely immersed in it, and they were learning, and you know, it was really good to see. So I want to commend you all and thank you all for the wonderful job that you do. And like I say, it was really great to be at the school the other day.
Anybody else? All right. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate it. Well done. Thank you. That will take us to 8.2, Beaver Dam Area Community Foundation. Welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Good evening. Good evening. Thanks for having us. I'm Tom Heffron, President of the Beaver Dam Area Community Foundation. And also with me tonight is...
Oh, I'm sorry. Right, and I'm Patrick Lutz, and I'm the co-chair of the Beaver Dam Area Community Foundation.
We just have a couple quick things that we wanted to update you on. First of all, we've been involved with the Beaver Dam Unified School District for 3 years, and we set up a special fund, special partnership 3 years ago, and wanted to give you some updates on that. The other thing is also wanted to give you the first-hand experience again of the virtual goggles, reality goggles. It's pretty darn exciting, quite honestly, and that's a project that was funded for this year. So first of all, so the next slide, this was a picture that was taken last year. This shows some of our community donors. Again, the fund was set up with the Beaver Dam Area Community Foundation to encourage and to get both private and other funding for special projects, okay? That's not necessarily part of any of the budgets, okay? And as you know, you have extremely creative administrators as well as teachers, and they always have thousands of different ideas that they want to do. So the whole idea was then to start getting some private money, and these are some of the donors that we had for last year. So this started in 2021. Altogether, the past 3 years, we've had 25 different very unique, innovative projects, and it's all 3 levels, educational levels, elementary, middle school, and high school. Total so far was $33,000 that we've given out to grants, which is not an awful lot, but $500 here and $1,000 here for a lot of these different projects goes a long way. It's just tremendous. And then for this year, we gave out $12,000 for the 23-24 projects. One other thing is that the members of the committee, besides myself, is Rob Meyer, Patrick Lutz, Marge Jorgensen, Barb Link, Jeff Rayberg, and Bev Beal Lake. So as you know, we have all superb educators on this group. So, okay. Patrick.
All right, so this project is dear to my heart. I presented many times to the school board over the years, and I was really interested in integrated instruction as a teacher. And these projects, as you'll see, certainly tie in with that. And that's why I'm so glad that the school district has also bought into STEM and now STEAM, and I think that's really important. And some of these projects totally connect with that. The other thing is that I think we all know that teaching and learning goes on in other places than just in the classroom. And sometimes a special piece of technology or a special activity can end up having an impact on a student. Maybe it's not connected with a particular class, but a certain project is connected. The other thing that I think is important is that the timing of this project is important because I know that you know as a school board you're making decisions on the budget in the spring, and as teachers are out and about, and I think everybody knows as a teacher that we're never just thinking about teaching during the school year. So over the summer we might be taking a vacation somewhere, traveling somewhere, and all of a sudden we see something that we think this would be really great if I could integrate that into my classroom and the curriculum. And the funds aren't available, or they may just think, well, no, I'll have to wait till next year. So this provided an opportunity for people and teachers to think about activities that they could integrate and have the kids involved in that school year. So they got a great idea over the summer. They don't have to wait for the whole budget process. So as we're looking at this, the collaboration part of it is really important, and we are really happy that we are involved with the foundation. We're able to be part of this because we all know that there are lots of needs out there. And as Tom said, we haven't been able to get out a lot of money, but this is a fund that we hope will grow in the next few years. And we're always encouraging former teachers, community members to contribute to the fund. All right, next. These are some projects that starting 2021, and as you can see, there's lots of interesting things here. I mean, I was always interested in steel drums myself and how they were made and you know how they actually played, and here the students have an opportunity to do that. So I'm not going to go through all of these, but just looking at some of these things, outdoor education I think is also important. Again, thinking that education doesn't occur just in the classroom, it can be anywhere. Sensory paths, another important thing for students, the gardening, projects at all the different schools, and I think that's important too, that we know it's not just for the high school or middle school, but it's for all teachers to become involved in. Okay. 2022, drug research, I thought this one was fantastic. Have students involved at this early age and understanding what's involved. Laughter in the classroom, I enjoyed that one as well. I thought that was a great activity. Just the next one, outdoor classroom seating. As a teacher, being able to take your students outside on nice days and just experience outdoors and make them understand sometimes just reading outdoors, to understand that it doesn't have to happen just in a classroom. So social and emotional learning, I think we all know that students have so many different needs, and anytime we can address those in any way, even if it's in a small way, it's a pretty important thing. All right? Yeah?
Next up. To continue on the 2023 projects that were funded, again, I think the only thing I really want to point out is the variety, the fact that it goes through all grade levels. There's something for everybody. You may have seen certain staff are very good at writing these and are back every year and successful, and I think that's kudos to them. We'd like to see more. We also are looking at ways that we can increase the amount that we can give out so that all of the worthy ones are funded. And kudos also to the district and Rob for cross-checking and making sure that if there's funding available within district funds, it gets used. If there's not, we get to supplement and do that. See if I can talk and click at the same time, just carrying on the same thing, the variety of activities. One that we wanted to talk to, who has, I believe, been fairly successful as of late, would be one of the, Melissa Hemling wrote a grant for the high school robotics materials and the Ys. And the why is, I think, one of the things that really resonated with us. The why is they wanted to enter competitions they might not be able to attend otherwise, and they also wanted to be able to get some materials, parts and kits, so that they could make higher level of, a higher skill level so that they'd be even more effective. Prairie View, the STEAM project, we wanted to point that out. And that slide is still fairly current. These are items that are going to help children who have interest in science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. Thank you, Rob. Those items have been purchased, and the last update I got was this evening. They've all arrived, and staff are learning how to use them in the variety of ways they can be used. And then, you've seen these two before.
We're back. So the middle school virtual reality goggles, the whole reason that Jen Mintz and I approached this project was we noticed and we had read different information that students will only remember about 10% of what they read on the first go-around, but they will remember 90% of what they experience. And while I would love to fly all of my students to Egypt to see the Great Pyramids, that's just not feasible. So we wanted the kids to truly have an experience of seeing the Colosseum, going back in time, looking at the moon and the earth from a different point of view. So in the grant, we were able to get 30 of the goggles, and the amazing Jen Vince is passing out your set. So you get a goggle, you get a joystick, and that's going to be how you navigate in your world. So yes, in most of the scenes, you are able to move around. And then the other thing you have is a cube, which when we have you explore a 3D item, in this case it's going to be an animal cell, you'll be able to pick it up and zoom it in, zoom it out, and manipulate it so you can see it from all sides. Does everyone have them?
Almost.
Almost.
Sorry, it talks a little faster.
I know, I talk way too fast. So the students love these devices. It really gives an opportunity to see things that they can't see in Beaver Dam, that they can't experience. It can be sight, sound. It really just this excitement that they have, and when they're talking to each other to go look at something is just amazing. Do we have an extra? All right, so you can go ahead and they are adjustable with Velcro on the side, so you can go ahead and put your device on. We're going to have you experience just a couple of experiences here.
So there's Velcro on the sides and then the top piece as well.
Everybody smile.
Don't forget to, you can wear your glasses with the goggles. You need to make sure that it can sense your forehead. And as you're getting your headset device on, don't forget to grab your joystick. That's going to help you walk in your environment. You all look great.
Pretty
so
sure.
you are currently, I believe, you're in Egypt. So that is the Temple of Abu Simbel, one of the famous pharaohs that the sixth graders will learn about. What's great is I can see all of your scenes, what you're looking at. I can suggest that you look in a certain area. So if I want you to look at a certain...
Wait, they're all running away.
Yeah, they're all right
Yeah,
there.
no, they're not following directions.
Just like middle schoolers. So this is one of our scenes where it's just like a big giant 3D image that you can navigate around like a 360 picture. Another one of our experiences that we recently did was for the civil rights movement. So this is a kind of 3D generated environment. You see the bus, the recreated bus that Rosa Parks was on, and then behind you there is a diner that is segregated from that time period.
So you can walk around in this one, so if you have your joystick, you can use the little button to wander.
Yeah.
You can go into the diner, you can also go up onto the bus. There's some teal circles, and if you walk into it, it will take you to another part of the civil rights movement, like in Washington, D.C., at the bridge in Selma, Alabama. So you just have to walk into those little things.
When we have the kids do these, I mean, we'll have them navigate, but just them asking questions and say, hey, look at this. For this particular experience, it surprised them to see some of the signs that were just very obviously displayed in the wording. And it was something they could see and remember and experience and discuss the impact of that.
If you are in something like you got to the book There's a button on your joystick. It has the little arrow that looks like a U shape. If you click that, you'll go back out into the main part.
Mr. DiStefano, do you need help?
I'm just curious, I'm trying to jump the fence right now.
You
Oh, so there are parameters of the environment. Yeah. Another experience, so this is obviously an environment where they can go in and by theme experience the culture or the daily life of a certain time period or place. They can see what it's like to just walk the streets of the segregated South and just kind of feel and experience what that would be like. Another aspect of the goggles is to do a 3D cube. So at this point, you have an animal cell in front of you. If you want to grab your 3D cube, and you put the cube so like it's sitting underneath the cell, and it should kind of match, it should pair, in essence, it should pair. And then you should be able to manipulate the cube that then moves the animal cell. You can look at its sides, you can zoom it in.
Oh.
And again, you can see it 3D. Some of the playlists that we have will allow students to then highlight or select different aspects of the animal cell so they can learn some identification or even its purpose.
So I know for health, there's a model of the heart, so it can watch how the blood pumps through the heart, and then Ms. Bindle, as the health teacher, can go through some of those different parts with the models.
That's cool.
So some other kind of aspects of the playlist, we can have videos, so that has sight and sound and just movement. There are some of the ones that the kids love are actually the sensory ones where they go into an environment that's not necessarily reality. The bubble room is a favorite, the fidget room, and they can just, take a break and just kind of fidget around and get some of their energies out. Our last experience for you is a video immersive playlist underwater.
There are sharks.
There are sharks.
Cool.
So there's your shark. I'll help you kind of find it. There it is. It swims right up to you. So this allows you to see like the behavior of the shark and kind of understand animal behavior in the wild. Okay, there she is. A good point that for many of us, we will never swim with sharks, so here's the closest experience you'll get. Oh, there they are.
Very cool.
So there you are. That's just one of thousands of experiences and playlists that we can have the kids explore. If you want to go back.
We did bring some handouts if anyone's curious what are some of the different things that you can experience. The text is pretty small in here, but it does list all of the different curricular areas that you can check out.
And here are just some examples of some of the ones we have. Another great option is we can upload anything. So if I'm looking for something in particular, a certain experience or place or like statue of a historical figure, I can just upload it myself, and the program that we have allows us to then make it into a 3D 360 video experience for us anyway. So even if the thousands of things that are available in the subscriptions are not found, I can make something that then the kids
So
can
you
use.
have a subscription, so you don't need to pay for each experience you get for the
Nope,
kids?
it's all included, and it covers all of the subjects and classes, and it's just amazing to find. And there's also a community, so if someone else has made something, maybe in like California, we can collaborate and I can use that playlist.
Nice.
The other really great thing too is there's shared playlists across our school. So if she makes something for social studies, the rest of the social studies department can then have access to that playlist, which is nice.
It's been fun and exciting, and the kids always ask when their next time is that they'll get to do a virtual reality experience.
So you share it with the other classes for whatever they're,
Yeah, so we'll share it with the other classes. I'll specifically share some with the social studies department. But then if there's a really good one, I'll, even voice it out and share it with, hey, the sixth graders could really do this stress relief activity, or, a social emotional thing about empathy. There's some really great ones about what it feels like to be a person of a different ability. And having sixth graders get that point of view and perspective just by being immersed in that can be really powerful. So there's a lot of different avenues we can use these for.
what is the kids, I'm sure just reaction from all of them must be.
It does get really loud because they're all talking all at once, but that's fine, that's exciting.
They get pretty excited. Sometimes they try to walk around, which we discourage because they don't want anyone to trip.
Right, because they don't see each other, so.
Yeah, they can't see each other, so they don't
Right,
lose that
yeah.
sense of where they are, but they really do get excited. Those of you who came to visit, I'm sure you saw that.
Yeah, so when some of our school members came to visit, we were in Rome that day. We went to see the Colosseum, and they got to see gladiators and things like that. And then we always include something with a reflection for the kids. So there's something that they write on, something they draw on, so they kind of have a record of where they went in their experience. So then we can use that information
Yeah.
later.
Great
Nice.
idea.
It's so cool.
Good job, Tom.
I think it'd be really nice for the middle school kids to have a virtual tour and involvement within a school board meeting.
Oh, yeah, 100%,
I think
yes.
they would totally appreciate that.
Oh, that'd be
Absolutely. We got to add it to the playlist.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was awesome.
So, thanks to Jen and Jen, a tremendous project, whatever. It has also been suggested that every staff lounge and the ESC also gets a set. If they want to have a virtual reality, escape of some kind, they all deserve it, whatever. But it's a great project. Again, it's one of 12 of this year, okay. And last slide, so just wanted to thank you for the opportunity. Wanted to also mention, though, that there is, we do have an RFP process that's sent out through Mary and Superintendent Mark and Rob to all staff, both administrators, teacher aides, school bus drivers. Everybody gets a chance. Here's anything you want to do. The forms are all developed through Rob Meyer, and it's worked out extremely well. We had to make sure that whatever project we fund does not conflict with So the RFP process is always sent out at the beginning of August, or middle of August, so everybody gets a chance to decide to submit a project to us. So with that, thanks for all your time. Any questions or comments?
If people want to donate to the foundation, how do they do that?
Sure, you can go on our website. I'll also send that to the school board as well. And you also, people can do credit cards as well. We're also getting quite a few checks right now for the variety of funds that we have through R&Ds and retirement accounts, whatever. So yeah, we'll get that information to the school board. It's been tremendous. Our whole goal, quite honestly, is to reach $100,000 here. Okay, hopefully we can do that, or hopefully that both business and industry as well as individuals will see more of this. You did see that this project, the virtual goggles reality project, was on the front page of the Daily Citizen, okay, as well as on Tri-County last week, so we're getting some real good press on these projects. So yeah, we're over there. So yeah, so Terry Peterson did a great job on the article there, and great stuff. So, okay.
I think obviously, all of our grant writers, right, that have received grants are obviously very grateful for the money and the donations. And I think, as you started your conversation, I think you said it perfectly, because these are 25 unique and innovative projects that, quite possibly might have not happened. And so on behalf of the school district, I'm greatly appreciative of your involvement in relationship with the school district. So,
yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I do have one quick question. Did Bill Loss and the rest of his administration team try the virtual goggles?
All right. Well, I don't know if you can follow that one up.
No, I cannot. I just know I probably would have got motion sickness. All right, well, I'm here to present the Start College Now request for fall of next school year already. We have 32 students requesting a variety of courses. As always, they list more courses than they think they might want to take because it is based on availability and also that it's something that's not being currently duplicated at the high school. So I'd be looking for a motion to approve.
Any questions on the program in general or anything that's been requested?
I just have a question. I see there's a couple of them who are going to be juniors when they're taking this class. Is that because of the course that's being offered to them that they want to take?
Correct. After your sophomore year, you can fill out an application to take Start College Now classes.
Okay, okay.
A lot of them, sometimes what you'll see is there's some sort of an introductory course they want to get junior year so that they can take the more advanced one their senior year.
Going through.
And that's oftentimes the case with a lot of the firefighter EMT kind of.
Right, the EMT
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff, yeah, okay.
Any other questions? If not, I'll look for a motion.
I move the board approve the Start College Now program request.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second then to approve the Start College Now request as presented. Ask for a roll call vote, please.
Yes.
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 Thank
Thank you very much. All right. Mr. Cashman, what do you got for us?
So tonight we have a donation from Beaver Dam BP LLC, doing business as Beaver Dam Mobile, for $1,000 with the intent to be used at Jefferson Elementary School in anything that can directly impact our students there.
All right. Looking for a motion then to accept this donation.
I make a motion, we approve the donation as accepted. Accepted donation as presented. There we go.
Bottom line is we were going to accept it, I think.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we have a motion then and a second then to accept the donation as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those not, same sign.
And
All
thank
right,
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, reports by the Board of Education, starting with 9.1, Student Rep Report. Graciela.
Okay, so the month of March is filled with a lot of events, especially with spring break, so that's really surprising, actually, because spring break takes quite a bit out of the month. But, so the high school's Health Occupational Club will be hosting a blood drive on the 27th. That's open to the community as well as students and staff. And then jumping back to the month of February, the FFA as well as other organizations hosted the Pasta with a Purpose event. And the organizations raised $2,869 for the United Way of Dodge County. And then this month, 2 members were selected for the FFA Honors Band, and 10 members competed in the FFA Proficiency Awards Contest. During this event, members complete a portfolio that highlights their SAE, which is a supervised agricultural experience. And then they're then compared with other members on what they've learned about throughout that experience. Members have also participated in the Career Development Events Contest. And in this event, students work with a team to demonstrate their knowledge on different careers, like areas in agriculture. This year, there are 44 members competing in 11 different events. And these members will be traveling to different universities to compete at, such as UW Stevens Point, UW River Falls, Madison College, Fox Valley Technical College, and UW-Madison. And they will also be visiting the Dodge County Women's Club in order to teach them about herbs and plants. And beginning in May, they will be hosting their annual plant sale. On March 15th, Key Club members will travel to Sheboygan, Wisconsin to participate in the annual Decon State Conference. The organization has also started to collect change for the Thirst Project, and the money collected will go towards building wells in places that are in need of clean water. The BDMS Student Council is planning their first dance of the year, and they'll be giving away prizes such as AirPods and gift cards at the dance. And they are also planning to have a Music and Arts Appreciation Spirit Week along with their Community Service Day that they presented. And tomorrow, the junior class will be taking the ACT assessment, and many of the students will be receiving incentives for putting forth their best effort on testing day.
Nice.
And the seniors get off.
Seniors get off.
Any other questions for Graciela?
Well done.
Yeah, Graciela, I think you do a really nice job of summarizing the busy life of our students, so I really appreciate that. We'll move on to Operations Committee.
Okay, operations met on February 26th, and the board members present were Isaac, myself, John Kraus, and Joanne Tyjeski. Mr. Cashman, Director of Business Services, provided the 2023-24 budget update. He gave a breakdown of various fund categories and reviewed the budget opportunities. He explained that Fund 46 provides an alternative route for aidable expenses going forward, and OPEB, Fund 73, can position the district in preparation of a funding gap and offset some costs in the next fiscal year, in addition to prepaying some debt and increase aid to maintain the mill rate. Mr. DeStefano, Superintendent, shared a draft of the community survey to garner feedback on district facility needs. The district has partnered with School Perceptions again to mail and collect survey data. Committee members provided comments and suggestions for the survey, and it will be mailed to district residents in April. And Dr. White, Director of Human Resources, presented a proposed calendar for the 2025-2026 school year. The calendar includes a start date of September 2nd, 2025, and the school year will end on June 3rd, 2026. She explained that there are no significant changes between the recent calendars and the one being proposed. And so at tonight's board meeting, I am presenting the recommendation that we approve the 2025-2026 school year calendar as was presented.
I'll second.
So we have a motion then in a second to approve the 25-26 calendar year. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those not, same sign. All right. We have a 25-26 school year. That's good.
Calendar for it.
Calendar, correct, yes. No meeting, committee meeting?
Right,
Committee's back up in April.
in April, yeah.
So April 22nd will be the next combination Teaching and Learning and Operations Committee. That'll move us on to Teaching and Learning.
Teaching and Learning also met on February 26th at 5:30. The board committee members present, Mary, Maria, myself, and Gary. Mr. Meyer did share with us as well the school calendar that we have just approved. He also provided a mid-year update on the school success plans for each school, reported on successes and next steps for each school's reading, math, and staff professional development goals. The district will continue to provide more professional learning, resources, and attention to underperforming students, in addition to investments in K-12 science-based literacy instruction and implementation of the PLC process. Mr. Meyer also reviewed the mid-year achievement gap reduction data. The district's AGR schools are Jefferson, Lincoln, and Washington Elementary. He reported on the AGR strategies and the baseline and mid-year data for reading and math. The next committee meeting is scheduled for April 22nd.
All right, thank you very much. That'll take us to 9.4, board engagement, opportunity for board members to share out any engagement opportunities they were part of during the course of this last month. Obviously, several of us school board members were at the middle school, which we already talked about, so again, thank you to the middle school for having us and letting us walk around and share some experiences at the middle school. Other opportunities any of the board members had?
Actually, today I was at Wilson School, visiting their first grade classroom with their projects on writing, and they each researched an animal that they presented, drew pictures of, and broke down what they eat, how big they are, different types of things. And then they actually had the opportunity to talk to the people who came to see their presentation, which was a good experience for them as well. So that was a lot of fun. And the other thing that this past month was, again, the Wellness Committee, and I have to compliment the staff members who are participating in that. They have a lot of good suggestions and follow through on a lot of things for the staff going forward all year round. So thank you to those board members.
I was at Solo Ensemble for a little bit a couple weeks ago, and it's just always great to see all the energy of the people performing during the day. I was there early, and there was an early morning 8 o'clock excitement going on, and that doesn't happen on a Saturday at the high school very often. So they're very cool. I got to see Jazz 1, Jazz 2, percussion ensemble, some small vocal groups, and it's just really good to see the music in our schools.
I attended one of the community information sessions with local municipality leaders. The luncheon was held here on, I think it was the last Friday of February.
All right. Anybody else?
I was at some facility planning sessions as well, and I also got to go visit Wilson this morning, and so it was a treat seeing the first graders with their animal research projects.
Yeah, let's see here, went to the middle school, had a great visit over there, so thanks for having us. What else did I do? Oh, yeah, I did a facility presentation at the middle school last Saturday morning. Went to a couple basketball games, and also had lunch, checked out our lunch program over at Prairie View. Somehow word got out that it was my birthday that day, and I had about 60 fourth graders and Mr. Kraus just sing a beautiful rendition of Happy Birthday, so that made my day. So that was my engagement.
Anybody else? All right, on to recognitions. Anybody that'd like to make some recognitions?
Quick shout out to a bunch of FFA students that were again helping at the Second Harvest Mobile Food Pantry on Saturday morning.
Anybody else? Marge?
I'd like to read a proclamation recognizing that the Beaver Dam Unified School District celebrate Fine Arts Month. Whereas the National Association of Music Education has designated March as Music in Our Schools Month, and the National Art Education Association designates March as Youth Art Month, and the National Dance Education Organization recognizes March as Dance in Your Schools Month, and the Educational Theater Association celebrates March as Theater in Our Schools Month. And whereas fine arts education is part of a well-rounded education, fostering creativity and innovation in a cultural context, while supporting the social and emotional well-being of students. And whereas fine arts education shapes the way our students understand themselves and the world around them, allowing for a deep engagement with learning through skill development, artistic literacy, creative expression, and performance. And whereas Quality Fine Arts program involved multiple partners, including families, community members, organizations, and businesses, therefore, be it resolved that the Beaver Dam Unified School District Board of Education proclaims March 2024 as Fine Arts Month and encourages all Beaver Dam students, educators, family, and community members to celebrate the arts and the benefits it brings to our youth. And with all those organizations, how can you say no?
Well, and I think for each of us too, I mean, if it wasn't ourselves, it was probably somebody we know, a family member, right, that was influenced through fine arts programming. So there's no question that it's an important aspect of children growing up. After Marge read that proclamation, I will look for a motion to affirm the proclamation.
Also move.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second then to affirm the proclamation as presented. As for all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those not, same sign. All right, thank you very much, Marge. All right.
I move the board recess into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin Statute 19.85, paren 1, paren C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, specifically to discuss specific employees.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to move into closed session. Ask for a roll call vote, please.
Yes.
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 All right, we will be going into closed session and we will return for final business.
Spring break. It's super fun.
Move forward with district policy and guidelines, 12.1.
We have two retirements or resignations for your consideration tonight. The first one is Teresa Block. She's been a music teacher in our district. Her retirement would be at the end of the school year. She's been with us for 32 years. Kathy Wiedenheft, she's our advanced learning coordinator for the district. Her resignation would be effective the end of the year, and she's been working with us in some capacity since the 2000-2001 school year.
I move the board approve the resignation and retirement as presented.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the resignations, retirements as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those not, same sign. All right.
There's one leave of absence for your consideration tonight as well.
I move the board approve the leave of absence as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the leave of absence as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those not, same sign. All right.
There's, excuse me, one appointment on here for Bobby Jo Helgamo, chemistry teacher at the high school. That happened, leave got moved up really quickly, so we got her in there really quickly, and those dates have since passed, but she has worked with us during that time as a chemistry teacher at the high school.
I move the board approve the appointment as presented.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the appointment as presented. Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
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 Thank you.
12.4.
Appointment of board canvassers for the April 2024 election.
Who's doing that?
Isn't that March?
Am I doing that?
Yeah.
I have that Marge is doing that? Oh.
I can't
Um,
apply because I'm on the,
Oh, no.
Oh.
oh, I can read the thing. Yeah. Appointment of Board of Canvassers for the April election. I present Lisa Panzer, Mark DiStefano, and Michelle Falkenham to serve as the Board of Canvassers for the April board election, and Caitlin Ostrander will serve as an alternate.
All right. Thank you, Marge.
And that was the motion, or you need a motion?
Oh, we do?
Yep.
Yes, we do.
I'll move that as presented.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second then for approval of the appointment of Board of Canvassers for the April 24 election. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those not, same sign. All right, now that moves us on to 12.5.
There is nothing more exciting than board policy updates, so you have the first reading opportunity here. I would encourage you over the next few weeks to peruse the information that's provided in your packet. You will see that there are 24 different policy impacts associated with this particular board update from Neola. New policy to consider is policy 6611 on district-supported and sponsored student activity accounts. So please go ahead and take a look at those things. Also, there is one policy that's being recommended to be rescinded, which is policy 2415, tutoring for credit. There's a couple other revisions that, again, aren't necessarily making a significant impact, but there's reference to pieces associated with nursing mothers, public requests, and then also the Citizens Advisory Committee.
I just want to comment, I do like it that we have Neola coming forward and giving us updates on these things. Many years ago, when I was on the board, I can remember that Steve Vesey and Jean Hill and I at the school board convention met to go over board policies, and it was not a pleasant situation.
It sounds very unpleasant, Mark.
Awesome.
All right, any questions for Mark on first read? All right, move on to 13.1.
I move for payment of claims in the amount of $5,138,906.89.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second then for payment of claims. Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
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 All right, look for a motion for adjournment.
Also move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for adjournment. All in favor, say aye.